This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. This is a divine emergency, and if you are watching this right now, God has placed you here for a reason. Chosen ones. I don't care how spiritually seasoned you believe yourself to be. I don't care if you've walked with the Lord for decades, prayed through storms, and endured trials that left others broken. This Sunday, this day, it is unlike any other. The atmosphere is shifting. The veil between the seen and the unseen is thinning. Every second you spend scrolling, chatting, or distracted by trivial noise, you risk missing the sacred alignment that heaven has been orchestrating just for you. Do you feel it yet? That subtle vibration in your spirit, the quiet stirring that something monumental is about to happen? That is not imagination. That is the divine signaling you, whispering through your soul, shaking the foundations of the ordinary to make way for the extraordinary. Heaven has spent years preparing this moment for you. Every prayer you've prayed, every fast you've undertaken, every tear you've shed in secret, it all leads to this threshold. And make no mistake, this is a threshold. Not just another Sunday, not just another date on the calendar. This is a gate. A corridor. A sacred channel opening for those who are awake enough to notice, aware enough to recognize, and disciplined enough to honor it. Because here's the truth, while the rest of the world sleepwalks through the morning rituals, stuck in autopilot, sipping coffee, scrolling through distractions that mean nothing, the chosen ones, the spiritually sensitive, the ones marked, the ones set apart, are being ushered into a corridor of divine opportunity. A corridor that appears only once in a great while. And if you speak to the wrong person, or even the right person at the wrong time, you risk contaminating the frequency. Not because they are evil, not because they mean harm. This is no accident. This is a divine revelation. And if you miss this opening window, it may not return for a long, long time. Chosen ones, wake up. Stand still. Watch. Listen. And prepare to move when heaven says move. As the sun rises this Sunday morning, countless people will move through their routines as if nothing extraordinary is about to happen. They will sip their coffee, scroll their phones, check the news, chat idly with friends or co-workers, and treat this day like any other day, a day of habit, of autopilot, of ordinary life. They won't notice the subtle changes in the air. They won't sense the ripple of divine alignment brushing against their spirit. And they will have no idea that while they go through the motions, an unseen, sacred current is flowing through this world, reserved only for those who are awake enough to perceive it. But you, chosen one, you are different. You are not like the world. You are spiritually sensitive. You feel the vibrations in the air. You notice the silence that hums with electricity. You feel the seconds stretching, heavy with unseen possibility, as though time itself is bending around you. You are standing on what I can only call a sacred corridor, a narrow, hallowed channel of divine potential that opens only when heaven decrees. It is a corridor where destiny waits, where breakthrough is ready to be delivered, and where the very fabric of your future can be rewritten in alignment with God's perfect plan. This is no accident. This is a divine revelation. And if you miss this opening window, it may not return for a long, long time. Chosen ones, wake up. Stand still. Watch. Listen. And prepare to move when heaven says move. Visuals for this expanded opening. Slow zoom on a radiant, ethereal background. Dramatic lighting that pulses subtly like a heartbeat. Floating spiritual symbols or subtle particle effects to indicate frequency and energy. Brief flashes of cosmic imagery, corridors of light, or gates subtly opening in the distance. Text overlay occasionally highlighting key phrases: divine emergency, sacred corridor, your words have power, drop 777. As the sun rises this Sunday morning, countless people will move through their routines as if nothing extraordinary is about to happen. They will sip their coffee, scroll their phones, check the news, chat idly with friends or co-workers, and treat this day like any other day, a day of habit, of autopilot, of ordinary life. They won't notice the subtle changes in the air. They won't sense the ripple of divine alignment brushing against their spirit. And they will have no idea that while they go through the motions, an unseen, sacred current is flowing through this world, reserved only for those who are awake enough to perceive it. But you, chosen one, you are different. You are not like the world. You are spiritually sensitive. You feel the vibrations in the air. You notice the silence that hums with electricity. You feel the seconds stretching, heavy with unseen possibility, as though time itself is bending around you. You are standing on what I can only call a sacred corridor, a narrow, hallowed channel of divine potential that opens only when heaven decrees. It is a corridor where destiny waits, where breakthrough is ready to be delivered, and where the very fabric of your future can be rewritten in alignment with God's perfect plan. This is not a metaphor. This is literal. The heavens have been preparing this corridor for you, measuring it, calibrating it, ensuring that every detail is aligned with your calling. And it is rare. So rare that most will pass right through the day without ever noticing it. Most will never know that at this very hour, heaven is leaning in, whispering, nudging, and opening doors that require both awareness and discipline to enter. And here is the caution you must understand, chosen one: the corridor, the gate, the sacred space you are entering is fragile. It can be contaminated. Not by evil, not by malice, but by distraction, by careless words, by interactions that are not ordained in this moment. Every conversation, every laugh, every casual comment carries weight when heaven is orchestrating a divine alignment. One wrong word, one unnecessary interaction, one exposure to the wrong frequency at the wrong moment, and you risk diluting, diverting, or even destroying what heaven has been preparing for you. This is why silence is so critical. Not avoidance, not fear, not withdrawal, but strategic, prophetic, sacred silence. Because words are not neutral on this day. Words are seeds. They carry velocity. They carry spiritual weight. What you allow into your energy field today, through conversation, media, social interaction, or even internal chatter, can manifest as either a blessing or a blockage. Your discipline, your restraint, and your focus are what preserve the integrity of the sacred corridor that heaven has opened exclusively for you. This is also where divine timing comes into play. You see, the sacred gate only opens at precise moments. Not a minute early, not a minute late. And the alignment of your spirit, your words, and your actions determines whether you step through it or miss it. That is why you must remain alert, aware, and attuned. You must watch the subtle signs, sense the invisible shifts, and feel the currents of heaven moving through this day. This is no accident. This is a divine revelation. And if you miss this opening window, it may not return for a long, long time. Chosen ones, wake up. Stand still. Watch. Listen. And prepare to move when heaven says move. As the sun rises this Sunday morning, countless people will move through their routines as if nothing extraordinary is about to happen. They will sip their coffee, scroll their phones, check the news, chat idly with friends or co-workers, and treat this day like any other day, a day of habit, of autopilot, of ordinary life. They won't notice the subtle changes in the air. They won't sense the ripple of divine alignment brushing against their spirit. And they will have no idea that while they go through the motions, an unseen, sacred current is flowing through this world, reserved only for those who are awake enough to perceive it. But you, chosen one, you are different. You are not like the world. You are spiritually sensitive. You feel the vibrations in the air. You notice the silence that hums with electricity. You feel the seconds stretching, heavy with unseen possibility, as though time itself is bending around you. You are standing on what I can only call a sacred corridor, a narrow, hallowed channel of divine potential that opens only when heaven decrees. It is a corridor where destiny waits, where breakthrough is ready to be delivered, and where the very fabric of your future can be rewritten in alignment with God's perfect plan. Chosen one, it is time to understand something that few truly grasp. The words that leave your mouth are never neutral. They are never just sounds or fleeting expressions of thought. On ordinary days, words can inspire, encourage, or wound, but today, this Sunday, the stakes are far higher. The heavens have aligned in a rare and powerful way, and your words carry spiritual velocity. Proverbs 18 verse 21 tells us, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." This is not a poetic metaphor. It is a spiritual law. It is absolute. And today, that law is amplified, intensified, multiplied. This is why you must guard your speech as if your very destiny depends on it, because it does. Your words today can become either weapons or wombs. They can dismantle what heaven has been preparing, or they can give birth to blessings, breakthroughs, and miracles that were previously hidden from your eyes. One careless joke, one idle comment, one response without divine guidance could act as a detonator, sabotaging doors you've been praying decades to open. Conversely, one carefully chosen, spirit-led word can set in motion a chain reaction of favor, alignment, and divine multiplication that reshapes the trajectory of your life. Look closely, chosen one, and you will notice that the atmosphere around you is different. Time itself seems to bend. Numbers repeat. Coincidences stack up like code, signaling a hidden order, a divine pattern only attuned souls can read. If you feel these subtle shifts, the strange clarity in your thoughts, the eerie precision of events, the inexplicable gut feelings, you are not imagining it, you are calibrated. You are in tune. You are sensitive because God is preparing to move through you, and every syllable you release today will either amplify or obstruct the flow. This is why discipline in speech is not just recommended, it is sacred strategy. Speak only what heaven inspires. Speak only what aligns with divine intention. Speak only when the Spirit commands. When you hold your tongue, you are not retreating. You are creating sacred space. You are forming a womb for divine promises to gestate and emerge. When you speak carelessly, you risk turning a fertile field into a battlefield, a space of miracles into a space of delay. Do you feel it already? The subtle electricity that hums in the air? The currents of energy that seem to pulse with each thought, each breath, each heartbeat? That is the rare alignment I have been speaking of. That is the signal that heaven is leaning in. That is the confirmation that the sacred gates are open, but only for those who know how to honor them. Words, chosen one, are alive in this moment. They are not just symbols. They are currents of energy, waves of possibility, carriers of destiny. They can heal, they can release, they can unlock hidden doors, but only when aligned with divine timing. This is also the moment where the unseen world intersects with the seen. Your speech will not merely echo in your room or your city, it will resonate in the unseen, shaping atmospheres, influencing spiritual currents, and even affecting decisions and circumstances before they fully materialize. What you speak today, whether praise, declaration, or curse, carries long-term spiritual impact. Every word you choose, every silence you maintain, every interaction you honor or decline, becomes part of the divine equation, chosen one. Hear this with the full weight of your spirit: silence is not weakness. Silence is not passivity. Silence is not retreat. It is one of the most potent spiritual strategies ever entrusted to the children of God. As Psalm 46 verse 10 commands, "Be still, and know that I am God." And Habakkuk reinforces it: stillness is recognition, discernment, and alignment. This is not optional. This is not advice for meditation or calm alone, it is a divine instruction for survival, for breakthrough, and for stewardship of the sacred corridors you are about to enter this Sunday. You see, words carry energy, intention, and frequency. They are vessels through which the unseen moves. They can be weapons or wombs, blessings or blockages. But silence is insulation. It is a spiritual firewall. It is the protective barrier that ensures what heaven is planting in your life is not contaminated by external vibrations, careless chatter, or the unguarded projections of others. When you speak prematurely, when you respond impulsively, when you allow the casual to enter your sacred atmosphere, you risk diluting your frequency, redirecting your destiny, and even triggering delays that may take years to correct. History and spiritual giants offer us lessons in the power of silence. Take Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel Peace Prize winner and fearless advocate for education. When the world seemed loud, violent, and chaotic, she understood the power of restraint. Her silence was not inactivity. It was strategic. It allowed her voice, when it finally rose, to resonate with unstoppable authority, shaking nations and hearts alike. One voice in silence can carry more weight than 1,000 careless words. Or consider Charles Spurgeon, one of the most discerning preachers in Christian history. He said, "Discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is knowing the difference between right and almost right." Almost right is the realm of deception, the territory of half-truths and distractions, the subtle snares that can corrupt even the spiritually mature. Silence allowed Spurgeon to maintain clarity, focus, and alignment with God's calling. He did not react impulsively to every opinion or intrusion. He observed, he waited, he allowed divine guidance to shape his speech. Now look at the cautionary tale of Anna Sorokin, aka Anna Delvey, a modern example of influence misused. She wielded charm, persuasion, and superficial words as weapons. Casual interactions, careless promises, and illusions became her undoing. Her words, untethered from truth and divine alignment, built a cage around her own destiny. The lesson is undeniable: on days like this Sunday, careless words are not just trivial, they are spiritual liabilities. The danger is real. Even well-meaning interactions can hijack your frequency. A simple text, a harmless chat, a comment of sarcasm or criticism, it may seem small, inconsequential, or even friendly, but under the sacred alignment of this Sunday, they become vectors of contamination, carrying doubt, fear, and delay into your carefully orchestrated spiritual space. Your breakthrough cannot tolerate contamination. Your destiny cannot survive carelessness. And yet, silence is not emptiness. It is presence without leakage. It is the stillness that sharpens your spiritual barometer, revealing who is aligned with your calling and who is projecting their own chaos into your sphere. When you refrain from speaking, you do not withdraw from the world, you observe it. You discern it. You allow the illusions, distractions, and pressures of others to reveal themselves while keeping your own integrity intact. Chosen one, remember this: silence today is strategic, sacred, and salvational. Your restraint is not compromise, it is preparation. It is the way God ensures that what is born through you is pure, untainted, and fully aligned with His will. Your words, your energy, your focus, guard them. Let silence be your weapon, your womb, your shield. And when the time comes to speak, speak only what heaven inspires, only what aligns with divine timing, only what serves the corridor you are stepping into. This Sunday, your stillness is not absence, it is power. Your silence is not weakness, it is authority. Your restraint is not hesitation, it is precision. And through it, the sacred blueprint of your next elevation is being anchored. Chosen one, listen carefully. This Sunday is unlike any other. The spiritual veil that normally separates the seen from the unseen, the ordinary from the divine, is thinner than it has been in a long time. You are not imagining the subtle intensity in the air, the charged feeling that vibrates beneath the surface of reality. This is the season when heaven leans closer, when the divine realms press into your immediate atmosphere, when your words, thoughts, and actions carry an amplified resonance far beyond what you can see. The energy around you is alive, reactive, and extraordinarily sensitive. The celestial bodies are not passive bystanders. The moon has entered Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, the giant of expansion, truth, and divine guidance. Sagittarius does not whisper, it aims. It shoots arrows of revelation, clarity, and destiny. And Jupiter magnifies everything it touches: your thoughts, your words, your emotions, your intentions. This cosmic alignment is a magnifying glass for your inner world. What you feel, what you speak, what you entertain in your mind, everything is intensified. Your internal frequencies are no longer isolated, they are fully interacting with external currents, creating ripple effects that can echo for days, weeks, or even years. This is why restraint and spiritual alignment are not optional, they are survival. Every conversation, every interaction, every glance, and every thought carries spiritual weight. Even the casual or seemingly harmless words you allow to pass through your lips or your mind can become seeds of destiny. They can either plant fertile breakthroughs or contaminate your sacred corridors. You are standing on a threshold where the invisible is pressing into the visible. The unseen is not distant, it is immediately present. To illustrate this, consider the nautilus shell, a marvel of divine mathematics and cosmic design. Beneath the ocean, hidden from sight, it grows silently, chamber by chamber, expanding in perfect logarithmic proportion. Its growth is deliberate, structured, and precise, not rushed, not reactive, not distracted. This is the metaphor for your spirit this Sunday. You are in the silent chambers of preparation. The divine is building, calibrating, and expanding you from within. External noise, casual chatter, or impulsive reactions are like storms on the surface. They cannot disturb the core if you maintain stillness and alignment. Your spiritual field is like that nautilus shell, designed for deliberate expansion, structured growth, and quiet power. Every thought you allow, every word you speak, and every frequency you absorb contributes to your internal architecture. Missteps today are not just temporary, they can ripple into your future. The enemy knows this. He is aware of the alignment, aware of your heightened sensitivity, aware that one careless word can shift momentum, delay breakthroughs, or misalign your divine trajectory. And yet, when you honor stillness, guard your lips, and remain attuned, you become a conduit for heaven itself. You begin to perceive subtle signals, the bending of time, the repetition of numbers, the stacking of coincidences that defy logic. These are confirmation codes, divine markers indicating that you are tuned in, that your awareness is calibrated, that your spiritual antennae are receiving directly from the source. Remember, chosen one, the spiritual atmosphere is charged, alive, and responsive. Your words, your silence, and your discernment are amplified. Your internal growth is being mirrored by the cosmos, and the alignment you honor now will echo through the corridors of your destiny. This Sunday is not ordinary. It is a sacred intersection where celestial motion, spiritual preparation, and divine design converge. Treat it with reverence. Protect your frequency. Speak only when heaven commands. And let your silence cultivate structured, deliberate, and unstoppable expansion. Chosen one, now we arrive at a critical turning point. You have seen how the spiritual atmosphere is charged, how words carry power, and how silence can become your most potent weapon. But even with awareness, your greatest challenge this Sunday will be guarding your gates, your energy, your frequency, your soul space, from intrusion, contamination, and misalignment. This is not abstract. This is not metaphorical fluff. This is spiritual warfare at the highest level. The Bible provides unshakable guidance here. In 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33, it is written, "Do not be misled, bad company corrupts good character." And in John 10 verse 27, Jesus reminds us, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." Furthermore, Matthew 12 verse 37 warns, "For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned." Each of these scriptures illuminates the same eternal principle: your gates are sacred portals. They determine what enters your spirit, what influences your energy, and ultimately, what shapes your destiny. But let us go deeper, chosen one. Guarding your gates is not just about avoiding toxic people. It is about protecting your frequency. Every interaction, every conversation, every subtle vibration that crosses your path carries energetic weight. Words carry intention. Even the seemingly harmless thoughts, jokes, or casual advice from others can carry resonances that alter your alignment. What you allow into your sacred field can either fertilize your calling or poison it. One casual word from the wrong source can hijack your breakthrough, derail your divine timing, or implant seeds of confusion that grow into spiritual stumbling blocks. Discernment is your lifeline. Charles Spurgeon once said, "Discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is knowing the difference between right and almost right. Almost right is the trap. Almost right is the subtle deception, the friendly disturbance, the casual advice that carries hidden misalignment. Almost right can masquerade as truth, but it carries consequences. And this Sunday, almost right can reroute the trajectory of your destiny. Practical strategy for guarding your gates: speak only when commanded by heaven. Seal your lips otherwise. Let your silence be an energetic barrier, a shield against intrusion, a signal to the spiritual realm that your space is sacred, untouchable, and aligned with divine timing. Do not justify, explain, or defend. Do not enter casual debates or respond to emotional pressure. Your words are seeds of creation or destruction, and Sunday amplifies their impact exponentially. Consider this: imagine an ancient temple. Its gates are guarded, its chambers sanctified, its sacred energy maintained. Only those properly initiated may enter. If the gates are left open, anyone can enter, and the sanctity of the temple is compromised. Your spirit is the temple. Your gates, the lips, the mind, the energy you allow into your life, must remain sealed until heaven opens them. Chosen one, now we enter the most subtle yet critical phase of your Sunday. Even as the celestial alignment sharpens and your spiritual field vibrates with amplified resonance, there is a hidden battlefield: tests and distractions. These are not accidents, and they are not trivial. Heaven allows these interruptions as part of your refinement, but the enemy, ever aware of this sacred window, will also send strategies to derail your alignment. Sunday will present tests disguised as the ordinary: a casual phone call, a seemingly harmless text, a friend stopping by, just a chat, or an invitation that feels urgent but carries no real weight. These moments are traps. Not because the people are evil, but because when the atmosphere is electrically charged, every word, every vibration, every interaction has the potential to alter your frequency. Even a soft voice can become a vector of spiritual contamination if your gates are not guarded. Consider the lessons from modern spiritual and worldly figures. Rick Warren, pastor and author of The Purpose-Driven Life, once emphasized that you cannot fulfill God's purpose for your life while focusing on someone else's expectations. Every time we absorb external pressure, we allow another's priorities, fears, and narratives to influence our divine trajectory. The very alignment heaven has prepared can be diluted, slowed, or even derailed by what seems innocent, if we are not discerning. Then look at the cautionary tale of Billy McFarland, founder of the infamous Fyre Festival. Charisma, confidence, and connections made him a rising star, yet he absorbed the hype, ignored the subtle signals, and misread reality. By failing to discern truth from illusion, by letting external pressure dictate decisions, he not only sabotaged his own life but caused devastation for thousands of others. These stories illustrate a universal spiritual law: what you internalize from the outside can hijack your destiny if you are not vigilant. This Sunday, chosen one, you may feel waves of energy that are not your own. Anxiety that suddenly rises in your chest, doubts looping in your mind, or a heaviness that seems to descend from nowhere. These are signs that external inputs are attempting to imprint onto your inner world. If unguarded, you may absorb fear, worry, or false narratives, allowing them to take root as if they were yours. This is why discernment and silence are paramount. It is not about shutting out love or fellowship, it is about protecting the sacred architecture of your spirit. Heavenly alignment does not tolerate casual absorption. Every distraction is a test of sovereignty. The universe, or the divine, wants to know: can you maintain your frequency under pressure? Can you remain aligned when the ordinary world seems to pull at your boundaries? Can you resist reacting to voices, texts, and urgent requests that are designed to pull you into other people's chaos? This is a spiritual calibration. The very difference between breakthrough and delay lies in your ability to observe without attachment, hear without absorption, and maintain sacred stillness. Visualize it. Incoming messages, voices, and interactions appear as waves moving toward you. If your gates are unguarded, they crash and flood your inner sanctuary. But if your shields are in place, these waves hit the barriers and dissolve harmlessly, leaving your core perfectly intact. These tests are not meant to provoke, they are meant to reveal your preparedness, to show whether you can operate at a level of spiritual precision that mirrors the divine pattern. Remember, chosen one, distractions and tests are both protective and revealing. They reveal what is truly yours, and they protect the sanctity of your breakthroughs by forcing you into stillness. Resist the impulse to answer, to explain, to engage, or to react emotionally. Instead, observe, pray, discern, and align. Let external noise exist, but do not allow it to write your story, shape your thoughts, or reroute your destiny. This is why the ancients honored days of sacred pause, why prophets withdrew into stillness, and why heaven's timing always requires discretion. Every word you resist, every call you delay, every moment of silence you embrace on this Sunday becomes a weapon of spiritual protection, a shield that preserves the clarity and potency of your alignment. Chosen one, take note, every distraction avoided, every test endured in silence, is a victory. It strengthens your alignment, protects your frequency, and positions you to receive the fullness of what heaven has been preparing. Sunday is not ordinary, it is a crucible of refinement, a filter of frequencies, and a portal for breakthroughs. Master this moment, and you will emerge stronger, clearer, and spiritually untouchable. Chosen one, this Sunday is not just another day on the calendar. It is a spiritual nexus, a confluence of divine orchestration where the very energy of your choices is magnified beyond ordinary comprehension. The alignment of celestial forces, the currents of unseen realms, and the precise timing of heaven have combined to elevate the weight of every thought, word, and action. This is a day when every decision resonates, when the smallest inclination of your heart can echo across eternity, when even a whisper can carry the power to shape destiny. Understand this, words spoken, even in passing, are no longer casual utterances. They are vehicles of creation or disruption. A single sentence, a fleeting remark, a casual reply, each has the potential to manifest destiny, to birth new opportunities, or to delay the very breakthrough heaven has been orchestrating for you. What may have seemed inconsequential on other days now carries monumental consequence, like a spark landing on dry kindling, either it ignites divine purpose or burns potential into smoke. This is not fear. Do not let your heart be troubled. This is awareness, chosen one. Heaven does not punish. Heaven amplifies. It does not collapse under error, it responds to alignment. When your spirit is attuned, your silence becomes a conduit of power. Your words become instruments of divine orchestration. Your choices, deliberate and calibrated, act like celestial levers that open doors unseen and trigger breakthroughs long awaited. But if you react hastily, indulge in casual chatter, or engage in distraction, you risk disrupting the sacred frequency. The corridors of heaven are precise. The currents of divine movement require clarity, purity, and reverent attention. Every choice you make this Sunday is an instrument. Imagine it as a note in a grand symphony, a chord in a cosmic melody orchestrated by heaven itself. Each choice either resonates perfectly, harmonizing with the divine composition, or it creates dissonance, a ripple that can reverberate through days, weeks, and even months. One misaligned word, one impulsive reply, one small indulgence in distraction can create a vibration that sends your breakthrough off course, delays your destiny, or shifts your energy into a lower resonance. Discernment is your compass. As Charles Spurgeon profoundly taught, discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is knowing the difference between right and almost right. On this Sunday, almost right is not acceptable. Almost right is dangerous. The subtle choices, the just this once, the harmless conversation, the small joke, may appear insignificant, but they are charged with spiritual consequences. Every almost right decision has a ripple effect, invisible to the eye yet tangible in the spirit, echoing through the architecture of your life in ways you may only understand later. Awareness of the energy of choice also extends beyond your words. Your actions, your reactions, even your thought patterns carry this amplified weight. Choosing to scroll through distractions, to chase idle curiosity, or to engage in frivolous energy drains will dilute your spiritual frequency. Conversely, choosing stillness, prayer, meditation, reflection, and sacred preparation will fortify your alignment. Your energy becomes magnetic. Your spirit, calibrated. Doors swing open with ease, conversations carry prophetic significance, and the very world seems to bend to accommodate the trajectory heaven has prepared for you. Now consider this: every person you encounter, every situation that arises, and every opportunity that presents itself this Sunday is not random. It is a test, a threshold, a measure of your alignment and your ability to steward sacred energy. A wrong word, a hasty judgment, or an impulsive reply can seed unintended consequences, while deliberate stillness and sacred discernment magnify impact, align you with destiny, and invite heaven to act on your behalf in ways that defy natural logic. The call for today is intense precision. You are being asked to exercise sovereignty over your own spirit, to act as the guardian of your frequency, to honor the sacred orchestration of this day. Every glance, every gesture, every syllable matters. Your choices are not just mundane actions, they are spiritual detonators or divine keys. Each one either unlocks the corridors of heaven prepared specifically for you or erects barriers that may take weeks or months to dismantle. So I urge you, chosen one, pause before speaking, reflect before reacting, and discern before engaging. Let silence be your shield, prayer your compass, and your spirit a finely tuned instrument. Step lightly, move deliberately, and align every choice with the higher orchestration that heaven is unveiling. This Sunday, the energy of your choices is not just amplified, it is consequential, prophetic, and generative. Every decision has a weight. Every word has a power, and every moment, if stewarded correctly, can become the fulcrum of your divine breakthrough. Chosen one, all preparation, all silence, all guarding of your gates, all the hours spent in reflection, prayer, and sacred stillness, every single deliberate act of alignment, leads to this moment, activation and manifestation. This Sunday is not an ordinary day, it is a divinely appointed threshold, a spiritual hinge where heaven moves decisively for those who are awake, discerning, and attuned. Spiritual laws converge, cosmic currents align, and divine favor becomes tangible, almost palpable. The unseen currents of heaven are no longer abstract, they are pressing into the realm of the visible, waiting for you to be fully ready to receive. Imagine the energy of the universe focusing like a laser, converging on the space of your prepared heart. Every prayer, Every act of faith, every ounce of patience you have poured into this journey is now forming a perfect vessel for manifestation. The words you have guarded, the thoughts you have purified, the boundaries you have honored, the silence you have embraced, all coalesce into an instrument calibrated for the will of God. What was once scattered energy is now aligned, focused, and potent. What was once dormant potential is now a living, breathing force ready to break into reality. Understand this: the breakthrough you have been praying for, standing for, and anticipating is no longer distant. Heaven has prepared this moment, and all that remains is for you to step fully into it. Every step you take in alignment, every decision made with discernment, every boundary maintained becomes a scaffold for divine favor, a framework upon which God's hand rests to lift you beyond natural expectation. Each moment of self-restraint, each act of stillness, is not empty, it is charged with generative power, drawing spiritual energy to your axis. Manifestation is not random. It is responsive to preparation, intention, and alignment. It responds to the quality of your inner sanctum, the clarity of your mind, the purity of your spirit. Speak only as heaven commands. Move only in divine timing. Act only when the Spirit directs. Your every thought, word, and action on this day carries a weight unlike any other, capable of activating doors that have been closed, accelerating timelines that seemed impossible, and amplifying blessings that have long been promised. This is the Sunday where the veil between the natural and supernatural thins, where your faith can intersect with divine orchestration in ways that defy ordinary logic. Opportunities will present themselves with perfect timing. Conversations, when aligned, will carry prophetic significance, embedding seeds that will grow into miracles. Doors that once seemed shut, locked, or barred are now swinging wide open. What was once delayed, deferred, or distant is now delivered, swiftly, decisively, and in alignment with the sacred plan of heaven. Visualize your breakthrough as a seed, carefully planted in fertile soil by God's hand. For months, perhaps years, it has rested unseen, gathering energy, rooting quietly beneath the surface. This Sunday is the sunlight, the rain, the gentle hand of divine activation that allows the seed to sprout, flourish, and bear fruit. The energy you have preserved, the stillness you have maintained, the vigilance you have exercised over your gates, all of it is the preparation that allows the seed to grow without obstruction. Do not underestimate the power of this alignment. Every action that aligns with heaven magnifies impact exponentially. Every word spoken without discernment can diminish it. Every careless interaction risks misalignment. But your faithfulness, your obedience, and your sacred stillness act as conduits for supernatural acceleration, pulling blessings forward, compressing time, and bringing what once seemed distant into immediate manifestation. Remember, manifestation is not passive. It requires your cooperation with divine orchestration. It requires your conscious alignment with the sacred currents of this day. It demands that you stand vigilant, guarding your frequency, filtering external pressures, and maintaining your inner sanctum. Heaven has prepared the blueprint, but you are the steward of the vessel. You are the gatekeeper of the channel. When your choices, your actions, and your words are fully synchronized with heaven, the breakthrough moves from potential to kinetic, from hidden to revealed, from delayed to delivered. This is your call, chosen one. Step into Sunday with clarity, with reverence, with intentional alignment. Move deliberately, speak sparingly, and act only with guidance from the Spirit. Watch as what was once distant becomes immediate, what was once hidden becomes revealed, and what was once delayed is now delivered. This is the culmination of all your preparation, the apex of your spiritual stewardship, and the activation of the destiny that heaven has long been preparing for you.